Hey everyone, you're watching Kickback and Chat at Home with Amber Pickens. I want to encourage you all to stay uplifted and active during these times. Today I have the pleasure of chatting with a Broadway veteran. He's created roles in original cast directed by some of theater's most prolific Tony Award winners such as Tom O'Horgan, Susan Stroman, Graciela Danielle, and Tommy Tune. He's a very special artist and also my extraordinary vocal teacher. Please welcome Ric Ryder. How are you doing? You look so handsome, as always.
Oh, thank you. You look great too. You look really good. Where are you? What are these paintings in the background? Where is this?
She always finds super dope paintings at like estate sales in Dallas. So this one, my friend from Tennessee.
I was just gonna say this is Memphis, right?
Oh my gosh, you're so good.
Yeah.
Memphis, and this one right here, it's like Ballard's Bingo, and it says "Dream on the Waterfront." I guess it's maybe another place in Memphis, but it was so cool. One time, one of my friends came over, and she was like, because she's from Memphis, she was like, "That's Memphis."
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought right away.
Yeah.
And I've only been to Memphis one time. I played. Is it one? Yeah, just once. I did the National of Greece there. And my mom came down and spent the week. She's from Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
And so like we did like a pilgrimage, back to the big house.
That's so dope. Yeah, I need to go.
Yeah.
There, and it's Memphis, and where does she always go? Like Nashville. I need to travel more.
I used to live there.
Did you like it a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Maryland. My mom is from Mississippi. And so, I mean, I had never really been in the Southeast until I moved to Nashville after college to work at Opryland. And we ate different than everybody. Like, I never saw anybody else's mother make biscuits. Nobody else had kale. Yeah, no one else had kale. No one had like fried ham or like red-eye gravy or grits. And we had all that stuff. We just ate different than everybody. And I was always very self-conscious about it. And when I moved to Nashville, I was like, oh.
Biscuits sound nice. Now I want some biscuits. Thanks.
I like your hair. It looks good.
Thank you. How have you been doing during this lockdown? How's life been for you?
It really isn't bad, to be honest. I'm in Florida at my house in Florida.
Got to get away from New York.
Yeah. I mean, it was inadvertent. I came down. I'm going to turn you up. I came down on March 12th for what was going to be a little under 2 weeks, and the world changed. And it always seemed a better option to stay here than to go back to New York. Do you know what I mean? Because It was just like instantly, it wasn't as, it got bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad at first. But like life there changed, and just everything that I was hearing, and I just didn't want to be there. So I'm here.
Yeah, that makes sense. If your gut told you to stay there, and that's right, especially just keeping that peace of mind and sanity. I think wherever your spirit's telling you to go, just makes sense to just stay put.
I mean, I just changed my flight for the third time last night, and I re-rented a car, and I'm going to come back on the 15th of May.
Okay.
That's the third time I've done that.
You're probably going to change it again. You'll probably be in Florida for a lot.
I mean, it's beautiful. There's a lot of controversy about this, but they're going to start opening the beaches on Monday.
Oh, I heard about that. Are you going to go to the beach?
Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding? But this is what it is, because it is like in stages. It's so stupid though. They're not opening the beach parking lots. I don't know why, but they're not going to open the beach parking lots. You can go swimming and surfing and paddle, you can do whatever you want in the water. You can walk along the water. You can run. You can't congregate on the beach.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
That's the restriction.
I want to see how that's going to go, because I'm sure everybody's going to have their umbrellas and their towels and everything laid out and still trying to congregate.
I'm going to bring them. And I'm leaving my car wherever it is I can park that, since the parking lots aren't going to be open. I don't get that. But I'm going to bring my bike. I bought a bike like 4 weeks ago.
Oh, you're really just settled in Florida. You're not going to be in New York anytime soon. That's the sad. I wish I was by a beach and I could just like hop on a bike. That would be so nice. I love being outdoors.
Yeah, it's just easier here. I have to say it's easier. The weather's really nice, and I'm so grateful. I'm so lucky. I mean, I wouldn't have come here, just to be away. I would have stayed in New York, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
I feel like at first, New York definitely feels more calm now. At first, it felt very tense and chaotic, I think, because everybody was freaking out. But I feel like now there's definitely more peace.
you do.
Yeah, I feel like it's calm now. Like I can go outside and it just seems, and people seem a little nicer, even though people have their masks and there's not a lot of people outside. People, are greeting each other more. Hey, neighbor, I like that. It's like everybody's just very chill.
Huh?
And I've always liked my neighborhood because people interact with each other, but I guess just everybody's always in a hurry, auditions, work, same old every day, the hustle and bustle. It's nice just that everybody's kind of laid back right now. And I'm right by a hospital, just 2 blocks. So it's really, really chill for the most part. At least yeah, on my side. I'm sure at the hospital it's crazy, but just right here in this area, it is nice. So
Good.
some peace. Yeah.
I was kind of saying the same thing about it here. I was telling a student earlier that I had grocery shopped today, and everybody's just really nice. Like everybody's being like polite, and they're being patient, and they're being kind. Like it's the first time I haven't left my yard in 5 days. And so, because I'm teaching and I'm painting my house, so I don't, I've got like, I'm just doing stuff, little projects.
Yeah.
So I went to the grocery store, and it was the first time I went to a grocery store when they had put the arrows in, like you're supposed to go up, one, down. Like, I didn't see any of that.
Do they have where it's like one way on each aisle?
That's right.
Oh, they're really organized.
And then like the front and the back, you can traverse, you can go either way. There's not a direction, but you can only go, well, you're supposed to only go one way on the aisle. And I didn't see it. I was totally going the opposite way for like 2 aisles. No one said anything to me. And finally some lady just like laughed at me. She goes, I'm not going to scold you. But she pointed down at an arrow, and I was like, oops.
It's like I'm just trying to grab something real quick and go home. I don't have time for all these arrows. That's how I am. And I'm also like going through the matrix when I'm at the grocery store trying to dip and dodge people. First here it's so tight, so I'm like,
hello.
Bye. Yeah, it's a mess.
I know, it's so funny. It's like you walk sort of like that.
Yeah, it's a mess. But for the most part, people are doing really well. That's why I'm like, yeah, it's not terrible. It was at first, and some people just weren't taking anything serious. But now I feel like people are definitely respecting what's going on, and even if they don't necessarily take it serious for themselves, they're respecting others, and they're really practicing social distancing. Which I've always wished for social distancing in New York City, because that's what I learned in dance class. So when I'm on the subway,
hold on. Did they call? Hold on 1 second. I have a question. They don't call it social. Is it spatial relationships though? Isn't that what that is?
But it's the same thing. And so,
or is it like get out my way?
I've been praying for years. Like whenever I'm on the subway and somebody's standing this close to me, like the man that's reading his newspaper and it's like right on my face, I'm like, excuse me, sir. I'm always in the back of my mind thinking, how did they not know about spatial awareness? That's a good thing, because after we come out of this, people will always respect each other's space. Now we're on the subway, you won't have somebody's hand in your face, reaching over you to get to the pole. It'll be much better now. So I look forward to that. No, fingers crossed. It's gonna change the culture in a better way. I'm speaking all of the good stuff.
No, you know what? I had an anxious couple of days because I had to change my flight in my car. So it just made me anxious to do that because it's really crazy. The airlines they're kind of just like a free-for-all. Mm-hmm. It's just, you can't get in touch with anybody. I have credits I was supposed to be in Peru. I was supposed to go to hike the Machu Picchu trail. the second and third week of this month.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and it's just so, I had all this stuff pending. So I had that trip. Like, part of it's been really easy to get a refund and stuff from the travel agency, but like the flight, it's on a South American airline. I can't even get close to them. I can't get close to getting in touch with them and finding out what's going on. Anyway, that wasn't my point. I felt a little anxious because I needed to change my travel plans, and that means I sort of have to like project and predict, well, okay, I'll come back on the 15th now. I know that's the day that supposedly shelter in place is going to be lifted. That's not really why I'm coming back the day. I have to kind of be back in New York by then for other stuff, regardless of what's happening, you know, with the government. But otherwise, it's been like, I've been pretty optimistic about what kind of change it's going to bring. Like, already, like, technology is going to have to step up because I'm teaching virtually. Anyone who's teaching anything, they're still kind of teaching, and they're teaching it virtually. And virtual lessons aren't new. That's been a part of the process. I've been teaching Skype and FaceTime lessons. Zoom is new to me. I never.
And that's what I was going to ask you. How have your virtual lessons been?
They've been really, really good. Like, very emotional at first, because I was going to be here for 2 weeks not teaching. I was on a vacation. And so I had students scheduled for the week that I came back. And as things unfolded, I'd say half or so, maybe a little more than half, canceled. And they were sort of like, I've got no job, I've got no money, I can't study. And I totally understand. And I was kind of bound and determined to honor that week of teaching. And so I'm sitting on my piano right now. So I bought an electric keyboard, and it was like the last day that like stores like non-essential stuff. I've gotten in under the wire for everything. Like, I bought a bike and a piano the last day. The last day that like non-essential stuff was going to be open. I was like, well, I better get a bike. I better get a piano. If I'm going to stay here. Anyway, the first day was like, I was a little crying because it was, like, I get close with my students and I know them, and this is sort of normal. It's not normal, but it's like a normal thing to do. Yeah. It's like, it's connecting to so much. And I was so grateful for it. And then I was a little frustrated by it because there's positive fallout to virtual lessons, and then there's challenges to it. And so I've just sort of skirted from like whatever's challenging into seeing what's noticing and recognizing, not seeing, noticing and recognizing, and kind of staying in what's really positive, the part of the lessons that can be, that really work. And now I'm up to, I don't know, 2/3 capacity, where I was like under half.
Oh, wow.
Before, and I've got a couple new students who've never studied before.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend yesterday. He said he was going to call you soon too. Because a lot of people were freaking, they just didn't know. I feel like the first thing to do overall for humans is just freak out. And then once you get a moment to just check in with yourself, then you can weigh out all of your options for times like this. Because of course, this is a very unique experience. But now I feel like, especially for artists, our creativity is starting to tap in, and people are like, yeah, I can handle at least having a voice lesson every now and then, an acting class, a dance class. I need to stay active in some type of way.
Yep.
So that's really beautiful seeing that.
I mean, connect to what you're so funny. Connect to what you do.
Yeah,
we're interviewing now, aren't we?
Yes. You didn't know.
You are so smooth. You are so smooth. I didn't even know.
That's good. I wanted to feel natural. Like, you just, I like when it's just relaxed and you're just being honest. Like, that's because it's kickback and chat, so you don't need to feel on anyway. And especially when I do my voice lessons, you always feel like there's a life lesson in it as well. And so I think in connecting that to theater, like what do you think the importance of theater and the arts is, and especially during these times?
Ooh. It's already, I think this is my answer. It already started to it happened right away. You can you can keep us in, but you can't keep us down.
Mm-hmm.
Like people started coming up like, I don't mean to be corny. They started like coming up like spring flowers right away. People were, Alice Ripley is live almost every day. And I've been tuning in to watch Alice Ripley
Yes.
just talk. There have been like way more organized things, like Seth Rudetsky stars in the house, and there are then people that you would I would never expect it from a friend of mine who's a real estate agent. I don't know what he calls himself, like take a walk with John in the morning or something like that.
I love that.
And every morning he goes out for a walk, and it's some sort of like, one day the focus was carpe diem, live your live your best life. I think that's the sort of the translation.
Mm-hmm.
And people just started doing it right away. And so the importance of theater and what we do is completely not lost.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm optimistic about, because if you think about the reality of, you have to sit you have to sit that close to somebody in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
They're already made. The seats are already there.
Exactly.
So that's what's going to have to happen. You're going to have to come and you have to sit this close to somebody. So until that can happen, people are creating other stuff. Voice lessons, virtual voice lessons aren't new, but they are. I feel like I've stepped it up. My students have stepped it up. We've learned how to communicate in a slightly different way, to make it happen. Because this is what it is. What we're doing is what it is right now.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's really, it's just like we were saying earlier, just really forcing us to find new ways to connect and not give up. And I love how you said that it's keeping us in but not down. Yeah, that's a really beautiful just idea to continue to have. And
right away, people were doing their thing.
Yeah,
right, or
I
a new
did
thing.
my home. Did you see my home video? When I'll send it to you.
Wait, is it just like you at home?
Home, and then it's like just me singing, and I'm holding Broadway, my dog. I was like, come on, Broadway.
Oh, you're singing?
Hold
on. And your dog's name's Broadway?
Yeah. I know, I'm surprised I haven't snuck him into your place ever. I've snuck him in so many places.
Oh, you're serious? Like people didn't know?
Yes, when I first got him my first year in high school, I snuck him in school once. So just like after schools, I went to art schools. I was there like all day. But I snuck him in school. I snuck him in church for like and the mall got kicked out of the mall. He always came to me.
Amen. If you brought him to a voice lesson, the voice lesson would be over. I love dogs. I came very close to fostering one while I was here.
Oh, really?
Actually. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen, I've seen it on Facebook and stuff, because I don't think it's about the only media I have. Mm-hmm. That's not true.
Well, that's not true. Good thing. That's a good thing. Don't need like.
But there's been a lot of stuff about fostering animals during this, because you can. Yeah. But I didn't. But I love dogs.
Yeah, so. I wanted to adopt one originally, but I remember when I got him in Dallas, there weren't any available, I guess, because everybody wants the teeny tiny dog. So, but yeah. The next one I get, I hope, is like a big Great Dane or something.
Oh my God. That's big.
I know. It is. But it has to work.
That's like almost like a horse. Yeah. Like a mule.
Exactly.
There she is. Is she with a horse? Oh, it's a great name.
Or a cheetah, like Josephine Baker. We are silly. Both of us a mess.
We're covering some ground.
We are. Okay. Also, I read once that you said teaching has helped you remember the way you felt early on about your profession, and you saw yourself in the children that you were teaching the workshops to. What is that feeling that you want to hold on to and just share with your students?
I just created a website. That's so funny that you did I say that to you, or did you read that?
Yeah, I read it in an article.
Okay.
Say that to me. I was doing my research about you.
because I just created a website, ridervoiceworks.com. We're not looking at the camera.
Yes.
And there's like a section about it. There's like an FAQ section, frequently asked question, and it's like, do you teach? And so I think it is a frequently asked question. Do I teach young people, like teenagers and younger than that? And I absolutely do. I don't have a lot. My business at certain times has had a lot of teenagers and younger, like, junior high and high school kids, and some even younger than that. And that's kind of where that came from. When I was teaching a lot of kids, I had another business in my hometown. I was traveling every other week back to Maryland to teach them. So it's a frequently asked question. It's like, I connected with that, and because I didn't know anything about teaching kids, it's really very different. You really have to learn how to, it's more emotional and psychological and social, how you sort of like deal with young people, young boys versus young girls as well, and teenagers. They're very different from one another. And it just reminded me of my whole experience and how generous people were with me.
Yeah.
And, how on fire I was with, musical theater. And these kids come in and they're like that. And I'm like, oh my God, that was me. And it's so, there were times when it was like a little emotional, especially like if a mom or a dad came into the room and they would ask me questions that I remember my parents asking, because my parents they didn't know anything about theater. It was a total challenge for them. They weren't musical. They didn't sing, didn't dance. They didn't do any of that.
Wow.
And so they had to like make it up. That piano that I teach in my apartment, that was my 12th birthday gift.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My parents gave me a baby grand piano when I was 12.
Supportive, even though they might have not known everything about the theater world, that they were so supportive.
Yeah, they just did what they thought they were supposed to do.
The same with my mom. She was learning all the way. Like, oh, what are dance moms? She was like, okay.
Yeah, and that was my second piano. When I was 11, they gave me like a studio upright, just like a more modest piano. But what I didn't know is that if my father wanted to, like within a year of the place that he bought the piano, you could trade up. And so it went well, obviously, because it's turned out to be my life's work. Yeah. And they bought me this baby grand that you see in my apartment in New York.
That's amazing. And it looks so beautiful still. You've taken such good care of it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so I've been encouraging everybody to, like we've been saying, stay active in the importance of taking care of our vocal instruments. May you please share with us some exercises that we can be doing daily?
Yeah. So just like a little comment about that, with a through line, you know them. I'm gonna make you do them.
Okay.
Actually, we can't make sounds. Well, yes, we can. We'll get there in a second. So the students that I have that were in 8-show weeks, actually not just them, but students who just have crazy schedules, and pretty much everybody does, we have found that in these virtual lessons over the past 6 weeks, that they're in really good voice. It's because they're rested. They're rested. Okay. And so if you're in an 8-show week and things are going well, you have your day off. I found that because I teach so much through my own experience, that I would do the 8 shows in the 6 days, and on the seventh day would be off. And when I would come back, let's say that's a Monday, because traditionally it usually is, and I would come back, and on Tuesday, I had to learn over time not to blow it out on Tuesday nights because it was so easy. Okay. That one day of rest, which really wasn't enough, because I'd start to feel tired, like by Thursday. But that one day would put my voice in a whole different, and my body. And if I had to be dancing, I'm not really a trained dancer at all. And so like, kicking myself in the face or something, because I just I'm rested. Yeah. So it's a great time to sort of take advantage of that rest. And you don't really have to do a whole lot. Once somebody knows their instrument, you don't really need to warm up for a long time. There's a difference between warming up your voice to go to an audition or to go to the theater, and taking a voice lesson and practicing your lesson. That's different. That's different. That you can spend a little bit more time on. You don't need to do it, but maybe let's say you take a weekly lesson, you don't need to hit it, but maybe a couple or a few times, that would be good. That's realistic. It's just for someone who has a life. And you don't have to work at it that long either, but you can keep yourself kind of in shape. I find that I'm a morning person. Whenever morning starts for me, I'm not saying I get up particularly early.
I have never heard of whenever morning starts. I'm gonna start saying that.
But whenever that is.
Morning starts for me at 1 p.m.
My time of day is the morning. But that's true. Like I'll get up, I'll have, my coffee, have a little something to eat, and then I'll come to the piano. And so let's say I'm the French chef, and like she's got like the pre-baked thing in the oven. So that would go on for a while, and you would end with with like this beautiful souffle. So I would do some of that and turn it into.
Those are my favorite.
All that stuff. Oh, really?
Yeah, I love those. The little sensations in this area.
I know some students will be like, I always use one hand because the other one's on the piano. That's not really the right way to do it. You can use two hands. You can use it or that, or you can use no hands. It doesn't really matter. Or something. I mean, if you need, not everybody needs to use that. But I just have the other hand on the piano. Just lost my train of thought. Oh, those are just easy warm-up stuff. Start in your middle voice and then kind of work down first. I work a lot at the beginning with hums, lip trills, tongue trills. Not a lot of lip trill, tongue trill. I'll touch on it, and that's kind of it. And then I work with what we call semi-occluded vowels, which are closed vowels, E's, A's. I think they're a great place to start. Okay. Then you can stretch. I got ahead of myself. You can stretch that out. Pardon?
Those feel really good.
Right. E's and A's just feel, I mean, not for necessarily every voice, but generally speaking, they kind of feel good. You can stretch that out. Okay. Men, get up in your falsetto. You don't have to go high. It's actually quite good functionally to take the falsetto down low. Where you can barely phonate down there. It's a great exercise, waking up a part of the chord that doesn't really get a lot of action. Kind of wakes it up, gives you more choices. And you can walk away from that. And if you really feel like singing, if you want to like work on material, walk away from warming your voice up for like 5 or 6 minutes. That's really all it should take for someone who's really in touch with their instrument. Mm-hmm. I would do a little bit more than that, and that's it. Okay. And then later, I start coming back, pardon, and adding a little volume. Start adding a little volume and adding a little neat to it. And you don't really need to take it up that high, even if you're a high singing, singer. Work that out in your material. Ta-da!
That's great. Thank you. Yes. No, this is so awesome because I've been adding like, little increments of everything to be like resting, but also just adding a little bit more every week. Doing my I need to start this now. Now this week is going to be about that, adding the vocal exercises. I've been doing the dancing and the
Mm-hmm.
acting and the reading.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to what you said earlier, resting is so important. And that's why I'm excited to see how we come out of this, because I feel like everyone, if they're really taking care of themselves and doing what they need to do, will come out stronger.
I'm in total agreement, just because we're in a creative field, and there's going to be loss, but there's going to be some major creation. It's going to change some lives, and change is just change. It's going to change some lives. I'll bet some. I have a lot of students who've gone home.
Yeah, and they
Because they feel
been
safer.
home forever.
Correct. I predict, not necessarily any one of my students necessarily, I predict that some people are going to go home and maybe not come back, because they found something there.
Exactly.
That, you know what I mean? There's life change in this. Yeah, I'm very optimistic.
Yeah.
And intrigued.
I'm definitely intrigued. I mean, it's changed all of our lives forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you for chatting with me. This has been
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, we covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I would talk longer. I'm kidding.
We could do a part 2.
Okay, you let me know.
Do a part 2. I love this. I want to keep chatting with everyone, and yeah, we should definitely do a part 2. And can you share with us your site again?
It's called Ryder Voice Works. It's all one word, RYDER voiceworks.com. And it's brand new. I haven't this is my quasi-official launch. It literally is like hot off the press. One of my students built it for me.
Oh, I can't wait to see. I remember you talking about you redoing your website and everything. So I'm going to check it out.
I've been talking about it for like a long time. And
you
finally it got done.
You have the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
That's one of the things I've been doing. So.
Yay.
All right, my dear. You look so beautiful.
You look so handsome.
Thank you.
Always.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
So we're going to do a part 2 soon.
Okay. You just let me know.
Okay.
All right. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Love you.
Florida. Take pictures on the beach.
This is selfie with an empty beach.
Please don't touch anyone.
I'm not going to. I don't want to touch anybody. I'm socially distant and emotionally available.
Okay.
But don't touch me.
But do not touch me.
All right, sweetie. I love you.
Love you, Rick. Bye.
Bye.